health, and let me emphasize this, there is no more important element to retirement than preserving your health. Hey guys, welcome to another edition of the Guy Midkiff Show, and I am the host of today's show, Guy Midkiff. Thanks for joining us. I really do appreciate it. What we're going to be talking about today is those of us that are preparing for retirement or are already smack dab in the middle of retirement. I turned 65 last October. That was mandatory retirement age for airline pilots, and I was forced into retirement whether or not I was ready for it. Had I known then what I know now, I probably would have retired 5 years ago, quite honestly. But let's talk about the most important element by far in retirement. And believe it or not, it's not money. I've got a pretty good feeling that you know exactly where I'm going with this. Health, and let me emphasize this, there is no more important element to retirement than preserving your health. Why? I think it's pretty obvious. You could have saved your entire life, got to 65, had $250,000, 500, $1 million, $2, $3, $4, $5 million in the bank. And what does it matter if the day after you retire, you die? What good is that? Maybe your spouse is going to be happy, but what good is it, really and truly? What is those 35 to 45 years that you spent diligently saving, and a year later you're dead? So please listen to this episode, Health is Wealth. I'm going to shine a light on that. I think as you approach retirement, you need to be thinking about multiple different things. It's not an easy transition, I'll be the first to admit. If you're one of those guys or gals that's taken and your entire life is wrapped up and your identity is completely wrapped up in your job. And I'm just going to use my job as an example, but we can spread this across the spectrum. The reality of it is, when you're approaching retirement, you need to be doing a lot of things. One of them is you have to look sincerely at your lifestyle. What have you been doing? Have you been exercising? For me, I'd say I pretty much gave up around 20 years ago about taking care of my health. And what was the result? Yeah. It really showed. I ballooned up to almost 300 pounds. I was knocking on the door at around 292 pounds. Blood pressure, I was one heartbeat away from a stroke. My LDL, my HDL, sleep apnea, fatty liver, you name it, all those comorbidities had really piled up on me. But I had made a conscious decision about 1 year prior to retirement that I was not going to go into retirement weighing no damn 295 pounds. So I took upon a really serious effort to lose the weight. Now, I can talk about in future episodes about how I actually did that, including bariatric failure, which, what a play on words. I had a bariatric operation and it worked for about 6 months. And then I slowly saw my weight going back up again. So I will drill down into the things that I did to help my weight loss along the way. There are 3 steps that I see that you have to partake in if you want to seriously prolong your life, and if you can't prolong it, at least make that time better on this planet by being mobile and ambulatory. First thing, state of mind. You absolutely have to get to a point in your mind, in your life, where you're tired of it. You're sick and tired of it. I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. And until you can get to a state of mind, just like with the alcoholic or anybody else that has an addictive behavior, until you can come to the realization that you're tired of it, it's never going to change. Step 1, state of mind, okay? And if you really and truly intend to pursue this big change in your life, step 2, I'm not your doctor, I'm not your GP, okay? I'm just a guy on YouTube telling you what I've done to make it better for me. I'm not a 25-year-old that's got a lean body mass of nothing. It looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger Jr. That's not who I am. I represent you. I'm that guy. I've lived that life. I'm 65. In October, I'll turn 66. State of mind. Second thing you have to do beyond a shadow of a doubt, is you need to have a full medical workup done. I mean everything from your blood test to one of the things that I discovered, my testosterone level, which I partly blame it. I'm going to commit an entire episode to low testosterone among men. Mine had dropped down to 250, and my GP had told me that that's normal if you're 95 years old, and I'm not. So I discovered my testosterone level had just bottomed out. And so now I'm working on that. Again, we can talk about that, what I've done. After that, then you have to have a plan, because if you can't measure it, you sure as hell can't fix it. And obviously I was in the Marine Corps, and we didn't do anything, whether it was a flight plan, a battle plan, even a food plan. We didn't do anything until we planned it. And it doesn't have to be complicated. But what I would recommend is that you get yourself a little notebook that you can carry with you that's convenient, or use an electronic device. I'm still old school. I still use a lot of paper. And what I need for you to do is put down on there a couple of things. Are you tired of being at your current weight? And the answer to that is yes. Then move on to step 2. How much do you want to weigh? And what does your doctor recommend that you weigh? I had told my doctor at 5'10" that I want to weigh 188 pounds. He said, why? Why do you want to weigh 188 pounds? He doesn't talk like that. Super nice guy. I said, well, that's what I weighed when I was in the Marine Corps. And he goes, remind me again how many years ago that was. I go, well, yeah, it was 10, 20, 30, 40-ish years ago. He goes, right. He goes, you're not 25 anymore, and you're sure as hell not in the Marine Corps anymore. So stand down from that. So he set my goal weight at about 195 pounds. Well, being a Marine and being a hard-headed Texan, I just couldn't accept that. And I pressed on, and today I'm at 185. I've been, thank God, literally, Easter, happy Easter here, everybody. I've been at that weight now for almost a month, and it's been phenomenal, and it's changed my life. I wear medium t-shirts now instead of extra XL large. My shorts, everything, I've just had to go buy new clothes. And I threw away the old ones because why? I don't want to have the option of going back to that again, ever, ever. All right, so the 3 steps. First, state of mind. Okay, second, get yourself a good workup done. And I mean a complete physical. You know, have them check your heart, check your lungs, make sure that that plan you're about to put together, you've worked real tightly with your doctor to put that together, because the last thing I want you to do is go out and have a heart attack because you overdid it. And if you're anything like me, well, that's always a possibility. Okay, so those are 3 steps. Look, guys, I really appreciate you listening to me. You know, the only way that my channel is going to get out there, and I represent you. I'm not the guy that's trying to make a buck on YouTube. Matter of fact, I'm not making a buck on YouTube. I'm here to educate you, make your life better, and hopefully make my life better in the process. Maybe we'll discover a couple of treasures along the way. My last episode was what yacht to do. I recommend you go back and look at that. Sam and Rev, they documented 2.5 years of floating the Great Canal floating. They were in a 51-foot carver with 2 450 horsepower diesel engines. So that was actually done really well. I had almost 100 hits on my, or make that 1,000 views on my very first video. So I'm pretty happy with that. Stick around, come back, make comments, give me the thumbs up, please. Like it, comment on it if I didn't already say, share it, and subscribe it so you get a ding ding. And I'm not gonna spam you. I'm gonna try to put out 1 episode a week. I'm thinking that maybe they'll come out on Friday or Saturday. I'm gonna come up with a consistent date and time, and I'll let you know. Thanks again for listening to the Guy Midkiff Show. I am Guy Midkiff. Have a great day.